do you think about, look, you know, Reagan said something that I found fascinating after the election in '74, when he spoke in '75. We've just come off a disastrous election that Democrats tried to run as Republicans and sounded conservative. But once in power, they revert to type, and they be governed as left. They overreach. We see that here. Is this spring offensive an overreaching as well?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Let's take some of those reforms that you listed on the screen. The Wall Street reform, all the attention is for a consumer office, which might or may not be a good idea. What I'm concerned about is a provision that is not controversial in the bill. It's not what they're talking about. That is pure socialism in the United States. It gives the Treasury Secretary the power, in his sole discretion, with no judicial review and no objective standards, the right to seize any financial business he wants, simply because he thinks it's too big to fail and that it's in danger of failing. And then the Treasury Secretary can fire the board of directors, fire the management, sell off the company, and wipe out shareholder equity.
Here's what I don't understand.
Castro doesn't have those powers.
Politically speaking, the American people are going to be made aware of this. The American people rejected health care. They did it anyway. Now they're going to push all this big fat wedge.
They're going to do this all with 51 votes. We're going to have to repeal it and defund all of it. They'll get much of this passed now because they can just go through with 51 votes and try to get it.
And you're saying that the Democrats are going to go along with this very process that they deemed and said was arrogant and unconstitutional?
Yeah, now there's a chance on some of the substance we can push back. But, and then the No Child Left Behind Act. What they're going to do with that is, instead of basing it on reading scores and math scores and objective criteria for each school, they're going to base performance on graduation rates, which is the feel-good A grades the teachers give them, and they give them a diploma they can't
We're going to get into this later in the program. Did you hear Henry Waxman literally trying to stifle
those guys?
Summoning, you know, Caterpillar, John Deere, AT&T. They're not just summoning them to Congress.
They're to explain why they're writing down these costs.
And to also turn over internal documents.
Listen, every company in America would like to overstate their earnings so their executive can get a higher bonus. Nobody understates their earnings, which cuts their executive bonuses.
But isn't this the intimidation issue?
It is.
It seems to me this is what's happening in America. This president's taken on the most divisive, controversial agenda, demonizing anybody that dares to dissent, bullying members of his own party if he can't bribe them. What is
now, let me give you another hypothetical. What happens if this financial reform bill passes and the Secretary of the Treasury can seize any company he wants in the financial sector? What company what CEO, what PAC is going to give money to the Republican Party, knowing that Obama could seize them the next day and fire them from their job? I do. And we raise this whole prospect of this web of intimidation in our book 2010.